Alright, creating sites using SharePoint. It's beyond the scope of the guide to give the details and instructions design creation of the SharePoint school site. Microsoft provides comprehensive health instruction for building corporate sites in which can access the Office 365 toolbar. Choose sites from the administration SharePoint and then click Help icon. A good starting plan to the planned site manager site. You may also find it useful information checking and creating the site collection at your school site. The ORM site creator quick start guide. See also management site, a collection of global settings and SharePoint administration article and SharePoint help. Alright, adding a subsite in SharePoint. There can only be one top level site of the site collection. Therefore, any additional site will be created with the subsite, either the direct subsite of the top level site or a subsite of existing subsite. To add a subsite, you need to have permission level at least equal to the designer group of that site. For more information on the permission and groups on page 35. If the add new subsite link is not displayed, you do not have permission to create the subsite. Make sure that the location in the site, whether you can create a new subsite. From the Office 365 menu, click Settings icon, choose Site Contents. So you went to site settings and choose site, chose your site contents. At the bottom of site and contents, click Add New Subtitle, New Subsite, and complete the following information. The new SharePoint site page. Enter the title, description, new subsite. Complete the URL address, descriptive folder name in which not is included any spaces, special characters. Under template selection, select the language and template. For example, the new subsite of the school could be either another team site or a blog, so also using saved templates on page 33. Under permissions, choose either to maintain permission inheritance, use same permissions as parent site, or break the inheritance and use unique permission. For either management, it is best in most cases to maintain inheritance. See also permission inheritance on page 36. Under navigation and navigation inheritance, you can make settings to determine the navigation links to and from with your new subsites. For the most purposes, recommended that you choose yes. The displays of the links maintains the navigation inheritance. When you have finished, click Create. If you selected use a unique permission addition, it will set up groups for the site. Windows is displayed. Set up group sites, people in groups, your members of the site, visit site, owners of the site. In most cases, you can allow SharePoint to create a suggested new group. You can choose the existing group instead of, if you want, click OK to finish. You might also want to modify a group permission. For example, the visitor group have only read access on the default, but you might want a visitor group to be able to contribute to the discussion board of subsite, which they need to contribute to permission. For instructions, see Addition Permissions. Editing Permissions, page 41. The new subsite is displayed in appearance dependence on site template. You choose it may include a removable widget to display a set of shortcut titles of the common setup task as discussed earlier on page 9. SharePoint gives a very wide range of open options of customizing your site and content layouts, libraries, lists, and other apps. Many of these are discussed in the following section of this guide. So, yeah. Customizing site. To access the site, you must to customize it in the Office 365. Browse the site you want to change. From the Office 365 menu, click Settings icon. Choose Change the Look. A menu look is displayed. Editing look for field colors, layouts, and fonts. From the menu style types, choose another current one or a new one. When you've selected a style template, you can customize it in many ways. For example, changing the colors, layouts, fonts, and appearance of each of the heading level. 5. When you've made changes you want, click Try It Out for preview for the results. You can confirm the changes and go back and try them again. Editing text and text layout. In Office 365, browse the site you want to change, click Edit. The tabbed Office 365 ribbon displays the text layout and editing controls. When you've made a required change, click Save. Adding a page. Make sure the location of the site where you want to create the new page. Office 365, click Settings icon, choose to add a page. In the creation of Add a Page, enter a name for the page and click Create. The page is displayed already in editing. Using web parts and apps. Web parts are modular components of the building pages of the SharePoint site. User, when editing permission for a SharePoint page, can use them to display content, establish data for the different sources on the single page, much faster and more convenient than by coding. Web parts can be displayed information external sources such as news and RRS feeds. When Office 365 SharePoint have shifted their emphasis from web parts to apps, which can be provided with similar benefits but run outside of the SharePoint environment or browse-based. This makes it easier to add and remove the third party of the custom-made components. Using the app and site, often the two-step process. First, app is added to the site. Then, if the app includes one or more app parts, you can add them into your site as required to display the app's data and information. Built-in apps and web parts. A wide range of built-in apps and web parts are available to display information. Here are just a few examples. A documentary library, a picture library, links, announcements, contacts, calendars, pictures, charts, extracts from web pages, listed of documents, custom views of data. You use multiple inheritance of the same app in your site. Multiple instances of the same app in your site. For example, several document libraries. Adding an app to the site. In the Office 365 menu, browse the site you want to change. For Office 365, click Settings icon and choose an app. Choose Add an App. Click on the app you want to add. If you cannot see what you want, use the search box to find it. To buy a third-party app, click the SharePoint store, and find the app you want. Follow the on-screen instructions to add it, and you need the sign-in on Microsoft account You'll need to sign in to your Microsoft account and to add the paid-for or free app from the SharePoint store. Enter the name of the instance of the app, which the user can search or browse. You can also click Advanced options if required. This allows you to enter a description and make further settings depending on the app chosen. For example, if you're creating a calendar app in Team Calendar, you probably want to enable the calendars of the team members to be shared. When you finish, click Create. Adding web parts and app contents to the page. This page can also be used to add a library or list to page. In the Office 365 menu, browse the page you want to change and then click Edit. Click the location of the page where you want to add the web part. Click on the Insert tab. Choose the web part. And the web part control is disabled. If the web part control is disabled, you might not have clicked the valid location in step 2. Try again. Under categories, select the category you want, e.g. community. A list of availabilities for the categories displayed to the right. Alright, so you got your categories, your parts, and your web parts. And to the left and about this. Apps are treated with the subcategory of web parts. If you want to add an app content, choose app category. Alternatively, you can select app part directly with the Insert tab in step 3 above. If the app part control is disabled, you may not have clicked the valid location in step 2. Try again. Select the part you want and click Add. When you finish editing the page on the Format text, click the Save. Movable web parts and app parts in the page. You can move in web and app parts to rearrange them on the page as follows. On the page you want to change, click Edit. Then the page from your editing, choose the appropriate action. On the web page, simply select the web and add it and drag it into the location if you want. If you cannot see the part of the page where it should go, for example, if you need the web part to the bottom of the long page, minimizing each of the web of the app parts before the start of the movement. To do this, the web or the app part to reveal the down arrow in the top left-hand corner, click it and to minimize. After the move, you can expand it to each part of the restore the page and appearance in the same way. On current pages such as Wikipedia pages, use Ctrl-X and paste Ctrl-V to move the part of the required location. When you finish the editing of the page, on the Format Text tab, click Save. Editing web parts and app parts. SharePoint is flexible, allows a wide range of customization. The settings page lets you configure a web part in all sorts of ways to help you display information in the way you want. You can access this by Site Settings page to see if what was possible under Site Administration. Choose Site Libraries Lists. Okay, then choose, for example, the Custom Policies. The setting page for the dialog, then link it from it, and seem to offer almost limitless options. So you've now going to customize your policy settings. Deleting an app or web part. Deleting an app or web part from the site. If you want to delete an app or web part from the entire site, do this as follows. Ensure the app or the web part edits windows is closed. The Office 365 menu, click Settings, and then choose the site contents. Look for the app and the web part you want to remove. Select the description, and then click Remove. Click OK to confirm. You can use this method to delete news feeds from a site and see the following section. Deleting a web page from a page, web part from a page. If you want to delete a web part from a page but not from the site, do as follows. A news feed can be deleted from only from the page. Deleting it from the page that will be deleted from the entire. Deleting it from the page will delete it from the entire site. On the page you want to change, click Edit. Point to the web part to reveal the down arrow in the top left corner. Click it and then choose Delete and click OK to confirm. When you finish editing page on the format text, click Save. This deletes the web part from the page but not the site. Using libraries. A SharePoint library is the location on the site where you can create and store files, update, or collaborate on them and other team members. Different types of libraries are used for different purposes, and the Office 365 SharePoint provides a built-in app for each type. The libraries are highly configurable. Document libraries. Using a document library for the wide range of files such as desktop, text documents, spreadsheets, and presentation files. Some files may be blocked from security reasons. Like other apps, picture libraries can be added to the individual pages. Each new site you create will include a default document library. To create a new document library, navigate the site where you want to create the library. From the Office 365, click Settings icon and choose Add an App. Select Document Library. Do one of the following. If you want to enter the description of the library or set up the document versions to set a particular document template for the new files created with the Click Advanced option, go to Step 5. Otherwise, just enter the name of the instance of the Document Library app, which users can search or browse for. Go to the Step 6. The site contents window for the new library is displayed. Enter the name and description for the new library. By default, the new version of the file library will overwrite the existing library, and the previous version could be edited and could be important. For example, the particularly important documents for the multiple authors are editing the same file. You may want to enable the version to do this. Create a new version each time you add to a file. Choose Yes. See the using approval and versions on page 44. By default, new documents created in the library are created in the Word format. You can see the different default template is required. When you finish Click Create, you will need to navigate to your new library where you can add files to it and then describe the following section. To add a document to the document libraries, you need to navigate the library before you can add the documents to there by navigating links to the document. You can choose the Settings Site Contents, then choose the document library you want. You can add the existing files to the document library by dragging and dropping, creating a new document in the document library. Note, not all browsers support adding files by drag and drop. It should work on Chrome or recent versions of Internet Explorer. Navigate the required document library on your site. You can add an existing document to the library either by dragging or dropping of the browsing. Dragging and open an Explorer window, navigating to the file you want, and drag and drop it across the drag files here in the AR. Not all browsers support adding files by the drag and drop. It should work on Chrome and recent versions of the Internet Explorer. Browsing, click plus the new dot. By browsing, go to Browsing, click plus new document, upload the existing file. When you've selected the file you want, click Open, then OK. If you want to create a new file, click New Document, choose from the list above the templates. You can also add a new document from the Files tab at the Office 365 ribbon. The Choosing template opens as you create the new document. It's saved automatically. Using a picture library to store, organize, view photographs or other images accessed conveniently for use on other pages, sites. Pictures files can also be stored on other types of library. The picture library provided convenient access to the useful features such as dynamic slideshows, picture editing, setting sizes, formats in which images are downloaded to the computer. Like other apps, picture libraries can be added to the individual pages. Each new site you create will include a default picture library. Navigate the site where you want to create a library. From the Office 365, click Setting icon and choose the Add App. Select the picture library. Enter the name of the instance for the app in which the user can search or browse for. When you finish create, click Create. You will need to navigate the new library before you can add documents as described following the section. To upload an image into the picture library, navigate to the picture library, for example, clicking Site Contents and then choosing the picture library you want. You can add a picture from the file to either dragging or dropping or by browsing. Dragging open an Explorer window, navigating to the file you want to drag and drop it across the drag files here. Note that all the browsers supporting adding files drag and drop should be working on the recent version of the Internet Explorer Chrome. Browse, clicking New Document, and choose the file. When you have selected the file you want, click OK. Other libraries. SharePoint includes built-in apps and for other types of libraries. Wikipedia pages are used for the store, organized, and collection connected with the Wikipedia page. For example, set of tips, tricks, pages for collaborative project wiki are actually all SharePoint site pages for the wiki pages that contain images, tables, navigation links, and within and outside the site. Asset libraries are used to share managed media assets of the site, such as audio, photo, video properties such as media data, keywords, store views, and for the browse provided. Alright, using news feeds. News feeds are messaging or microblogging tool using a sharing ID to engage in the conversation. News feed include in many types of templates are so provided automatically when the site is created, but the news feed is a personal site and useful in sharing generally with other people in the establishment. However, the news feed of the school site can be set up with particular use groups and provided with a specialized club or subject in discussion. If any, considering allowing students with access to new feeds, follow the control of the contributed permission level. See permission levels on page 35. You should first carefully weigh the potential e-safety and safeguarding consideration. It is easy to hide a newsfeed if desired in page 26. If simply need a new way of publishing news announcements on the site, you can use announcements web part instead of the permission to set allow staff to contribute. To provide with both the provisions, personals and team news feeds tied together so that the post team site the user following will automatically in their personal news feed. They can also post and edit to any of the of their groups from the personal news feed. To visit the personal news feed area over the Office 365 toolbar, choose news feed. At the top of the center pane in the box of the post a message to start the new conversation thread. Below, a list of recent posts with alerts to read and respond to. You can filter the list showing the only news feeds you are following, everyone with all visible new feeds mentioned in the post with where you're mentioned. Left-handed pane gives access to view, edit your user profile information. The right-hand pane gives summary of what you're following in your news feed, provides a search box to find some news posts. Starting a new conversation, click Share With down arrow after the drop-down list. Choose from the destination of your post. So you're going to go to Share With, and then you're going to go to the drop-down list and choose the destination for your post. Type your new post in the message box. If required, you can include one or more pictures. Click the acclaimer icon, browse the file uploaded. Hashtags. There can be used a prompt informational discussion topic, making it easier to find related messages. Entering descriptive name, no spaces, e.g. number sign, assembly ideas. Note that the suggestion will be displayed as you type, and to help avoid creating with the new hashtags where similar ones already exist. Mention the people, enter the blank at username, and tag people, and that helps to ensure that you see your post. When you have finished click post to hide the news feed on the page. If you don't want to see the news feed on the page, you can easily hide it from the view on page 8. Edit, select the news feed web part, and from the pop menu, minimize. Using lists. Built-in apps provided with the quick creating with various types of lists, including announcements, contacts, custom lists. Custom lists can draw from external data sources for more information. Create and update an external data column in the SharePoint help. Lists are highly configurable. Using list links, only one particular useful type of list can serve as an example. For the list, they're advising navigation to your site. To add links to lists, navigate to your site where you want to create the links list. From other Office 365 menus, click the settings icon and choose the add app. Selected links, and then select links. Enter a name of list which the user can search and browse for when you have finished and can create. To add a link to the list, click the title for the links to the list you have created. Click the Add New Link. In the list window, enter the URL link that you would like to add. Check that you have entered it correctly, but click here and test. Type the descriptive title for the link and add required notes. When you have finished, click Save to add the link list to the page. You can add the links to the page like any other page, any other adding web apps and adding content to the page on page 17. Using surveys. The built-in survey app gives you an easy way to collect information from the site. Users view the results in graphs. Surveys very easy to set up, but they can easily be spoiled in poor design. Be clear about the purpose of the survey and keep it in short and to the point. Ensure the questions are clear and unambiguous. Gotta get a colleague to review them before you use. To add a survey, navigate to the site where you want to add a survey. From the Office 365 menu, click Settings icon, choose Add an App, find the Survey app, and click it. Enter the name for the survey, which the user can search each of the browsers. By default, respondent names that are displayed in multiple response are allowed. If you want to change the settings and add further descriptive notes using advanced options. When you have finished, click Create. To add a survey question, point at the title for the survey where you created it and click. Click Settings. In the box to the left of the survey settings window, click Add Question. One of the next screens entering details of the first question. You can use the wide variety of open and closed question formats. Each question can be made optional or compulsory. When you have finished with the next question at the bottom of the screen, repeat steps 4 through 5. Add the more questions as required. When you are finished, click Finish. To add a survey to the page, you can add the survey page, but like any other app, by seeing the Add Web Parts app and app content to the page on page 17. Your site settings may not give students or other users contributed permission that they need to respond to the survey. If so, you need to edit the permission for the particular survey app. See page 41 on C41 section and page 41. To respond to the survey, browse the page for survey, click Respond Survey, complete the survey response. When you have finished, click Finish. Using alerts. Users can email and text notification when contenting on the site and change. All users can set up their own alerts and connect that they want to monitor. Site managers can also follow the cancel alert for other people. To add an alert for the page, browse the page where you want to add the alert and click Edit. Click the page and tab on the ribbon. Click Alert Me. Choose the Set on Alert on this page. So you have a set alerts on the page. And then a new alert window will display. Enter the settings you require for this alert. You must enter the username, email address for more than one recipient for the alert. You can also set a title, specific delivery method, condition for the triggering, and frequency and timing of the notifications. When you have finished, click OK to review managing alerts at the site. When you wanted to manage your alerts, click Edit. Click on the Page tab on the new ribbon, Alert Me, and choose the Manage My Alerts. My Alerts page will list your current alerts on the site. If you want to cancel any alerts, the checkbox for the alerts where you want to create and delete selected alerts. If you want to add a new alert, click Add Alert. My Alerts new alert page displays the page's list of document libraries you can set alerts for. Set the item that you want to keep track and click Next. On the new alert page, enter the settings that you require for this alert. You can set a title of recipient for the alert and specify the delivery method, condition for the triggering it, and the frequency and the time and notifications. When you're finished, click OK. If you want to add an alert, click the name and the edit the alert window, make the changes you want, and then click OK. To view and cancel another user's alert, only an administrator user with the site management permission can do so. From the Office 365 menu, click Settings icon, choose Site Settings, and on the Site Settings page, use the Site Administrator, choose Using Alerts, click Display Alerts down arrow, select from the list and user whose alert you want to view. Click Update. The selected user's alert are displayed, and if you want to cancel any alerts, tick the checkbox for the alert want to cancel. Click Delete Selected Alerts. Using templates. SharePoint Online includes a selection of templates, for example, the site templates, which can use the creating with a new site. By selecting a site template that's designed to the specific purpose, you can give the user a head start on their work. As well as built-in templates, you can also save a site, list library, survey as reusable template, fine-tuned from the requirements of the template. Also includes the structure, can also include the content where required. You can explore templates for the site, web parts, apps, and from one of the tendencies import from the another. We recommend that you make full use of the full templates to provide with a SharePoint site with the help make assurance that consistency, reduce work, and make it easier for the new users to get started. The more collaborating users you have, the more beneficial templates become. Saving templates. To save a template at the site, you want to use the template from the Office 365. Click Settings, choose Site Settings. On the Site Setting page, under Site Actions, choose Save Site as Template. Enter the name, description from the template. My default content for the site list and documented library is excluded. However, if you want the template to apply to the custom link to the new site, you need to include it in content. But if you want to include the content, tick the included content box. Then before you save the template, ensure that you delete any specific content that you do not want to be part of it. And for example, unwanted items is listed enlisted. When you have finished, click OK. The template is saved on to Solution Site Template Gallery of the current site selection. You can now use the Create and Others sites. Save the list and library as template. From the Office 365 menu, click Settings and then choose Site Contents. On the Site Contents page, point a title for the list and library you want to save and click Settings. On the Setting page, save list and then the library as template. Enter in the name and the description for the template. By default, content for the site listed with the documented library is excluded. If you want to include and tick the included content box, which have been finished, OK. The template is saved in the appropriate template gallery, list, or library of the current site selection. Using Save Template, you share the templates across the site. The site collection tendencies to use the Save Template at the location where you want to create a new subsite. Using the Save Template from the Office 365 menu, click Settings and choose the site contents. So at the bottom of the site contents page, click the Add New Subtitle. On the new SharePoint site page, settings says you require on the new subsite, adding subsite into the SharePoint on the page 10 button. Under Select Template, click the Custom tab and choose the Save Template you want. If you have the new site is not direct child of the site, when you have saved the template, you may need to access the template via the top-level team site if your add permission allows this. When you have finished the correct create, if you selected the new permission, additional setup of the groups from the site window is displayed. Entering the setting that you required and click OK. To use the saved list library template, save the templates that are used and just like a built-in template. At the site where you want to create the new list of the library for the template from the Office 365 menu, click Settings icon, choose Site Settings. Under the apps, you can add from the list of the library template you want to add to use. Click on it. Enter the name of the new list or library, create it, and you now have inserted the new list or library when you acquired on the site page. Exporting and importing templates. It is worth noting that the site and its list of templates can be exported to one tendency for use of another tendency. On the site settings page, under the web designer galleries, you can find the list of templates, site templates. Under solutions, these can be downloaded and uploaded in another tendency where required. Please refer to the SharePoint help for the details. Permissions and group. Office 365 SharePoint allows lots of flexibility controlling the user allowed to do with different sites and pages. Indeed, but there's so much flexibility the management maintenance can easily become overcomplicated. This is one area where the RM site creator makes it easier to set up the SharePoint site. This section explains the SharePoint permission work, how to manage it, but in the first may useful to outline some good practices and rules. Keep it simple. Recommended that you follow these guidelines. Use the fixed set of the permission values or see below across your team site. Let the subsites and any items within them inherit their permission from the parent site unless there are good reason not to. Plan your site selection structure accommodated unique permissions. Manage permissions. Group membership is a high up site hierarchy as practical. For example, you might create a special subsite for governors. So, example, to manage permissions for all content in the subsite, which in the same access requirements at one time. This would be easier for the trying to track individual pages, documents spread across the site collection. Use security groups to manage the bulk manage using or access each of the security group in the SharePoint group with the appropriate permission level for those users. Permission levels. SharePoint using permission levels to control the user's access. These are collections. These are collections of the right from the allow users to perform the selected related task. For example, the read permission includes the permission to open the site or view the page of value items. SharePoint provides a limited set of default permission levels. You can access description of all available permission levels for the site. View the permission tabs on the SharePoint ribbon for editing permissions on page 141. If required, you can add custom permissions on level page 40. See page 43. Permissions levels are normally assigned to the user SharePoint groups or Viva RM site creator using the slightly different method. These SharePoint groups, although you could assign permission levels directly to the individual users, such approach makes management tracking more difficult and is more practical to assign users in SharePoint group associated with the permission levels that they need, that everyone in the group having the same access rights. The core default SharePoint groups for the team site include the permission levels. SharePoint group owners have full control. Visitors read, view page and listed items and documents, and members can edit, edit, update, delete list, view, add, update, delete list items and documents. These default share groups help you to sort people according to the way they use the site. Some users may only need to read the site content. These belong to the visitor group. Other users may need to create content as well as read it and therefore belong to the members group. As fewer users need to be able to do this, also change elements of the site itself then belong to the owners group. For more detailed information, the permission levels in SharePoint Online, see the Understanding Permission Levels article and SharePoint Help. Permission inheritance. Whenever the child or site or subsite is created with a new set of SharePoint group is created with the subsite one group of each permission level. My default share permission is inherited down for the hierarchy so that the permission set at the top level are copied to all sites. Lists or other items contained. The SharePoint permission are granular and they can be set at any level down to individual page components. A rather complexity team site example is shown below with the illustrated with the concept permission for the inherited through the site collection site example A, where site D is created with unique permission in part and point D, B, where unique permission is set for X, page X, and site C. Note that the site F inherits alternated permission for the parent site to the D, and examples illustrated potential complications that may arise with the change. Permission is also possible to disable the re-enable the inheritance of your edited permission. Given a permission level to the user instead of the assigning permission levels to the individual users they needed. Security groups. Most useful members of the existing activity data security groups that must be assigned the permission adding the group to the appropriate SharePoint group. Various types of these security groups can be used for the purpose of the Office 365 security group. Security groups can be created dynamically, manually in Office 365. For example, the RM Unify creates a security group within the provisions of the Office 365 user. For example, the teaching staff site number, the student site number, and the administrator site number. You can also create your own custom security groups to fine-tune your access. Exchange security groups. Mail-enabled security groups created dynamically, manually in Exchange that can also be used to apply site permission levels. Exchange distribution groups cannot be used for purpose. If required, you can manage security groups for the Office 365 Administrative Center. See page 40. Domain groups and RM site creator. The RM site creator assigns the site permission but a slightly different way. It adds the RM unified security groups identified with the domain groups to each of the subsite, assigns the permission directly to those groups. SharePoint group does exist with the subsite, but they are not used for the RM site created with the permission assignment. The permission page of the RM site creator subsite looks similar to like this. Note site settings and permissions. Note the example includes the custom SharePoint group, Excel, and service viewers. If you need to modify the settings so that only Year 7 students could view Year 7 site creator subsites, you can delete the permission from the student domain groups, adding the permission, creating an Office 365 security group for Year 7 students, creating and editing security groups, and editing Year Group 7 with the visitor SharePoint group. See next section. Using the SharePoint groups. The new SharePoint groups are created with automatically during the site correction. If the permission inheritance is broken, see the following section. The properties can be different from those in the parent group. Whenever possible, we recommended that all of the group of the properties be inherited for the easy management. The site owner can also be added and remove an individual SharePoint group if the members created the new custom group. In most cases, we recommended that you manage SharePoint group and the membership indirectly with a view to the security groups, creating and editing security groups on page 40. To view and edit share groups, all at the site whose group membership you want to view. From the Office 365 menu, click Settings and choose Site Settings. So you enter the users and permission, choose the people in the groups. In the left-hand column, select the group you want, and if you can see the group you want, select the groups in the left hand of the column to display all the groups. The group members are displayed in the right-hand pane. If required, you can now manually add users to select a group and click the new and add users, enter details, manually remove the users, select the users, click actions, remove a user from the group, and send emails and messages to the members. To create the SharePoint group, in most cases, it's recommended with the use of security groups to manage the users. However, the require a new SharePoint group to do as follows. From the Office 365, click Settings and choose Site Settings. Under the User's Permission, choose Site Permissions. On Permission tab, the SharePoint ribbon, click the Create a Group. And the create a group window will let you set a name, description, owner for the group. You can specify that you can view and edit the membership and configure the membership requiring settings, choosing the permission level the group members are given. When you have configured the settings for the new group, click Create. Creating the editing of the security group. To manage the Office 365 security group, you must have a global administrative use of management administration to access the Office 365 administrative center. Create the custom security group from the Office 365 administration menu of the Office 365. From the left panel, choose the user group to select the security group tab. Click the new group. Add a new group window is displayed. Enter the display name and description for the new group. Under the members, click Add Member. In the group of the member picker window, you can select either the users or groups that you select and add the new group of the members as required. Click then OK and finish. Click to save the new security group. To edit the custom security group in the Office 365 Administration Center, in the Office 365 Administration, choose the user group and the security group tabs. Select the custom security group that you want to edit and click the pen editing group and icon. Making the changes you want to name and description of the group and the membership, click Save to save the new security group. Editing permissions. After a site has been created, you can edit permissions. The edits will also apply to subsites and pages that inherit those permissions. You can edit you can even edit the permission for the individual web part or app. Whenever possible, you can recommend that all permission to be inherited for the ease of management. To edit the site's permission at the site of the permission you want to edit for the Office 365, click Settings and choose Site Settings. Under the user's permission, choose Site Permissions. The Site Permission page is displayed listing of the groups and user their permission levels. To edit the permission for the group or the user, take to the checker box and edit user's permission. Using the checkbox for the edit the permission as required, click OK. You can use the permission ribbon tools to grant, check, and remove permissions, check groups and user permissions, configure the ability of users to request access, manage site collection, and administrators. To edit the permission from the app or web for a web or app, you may want to change the individual permission for the web app or web parts. For example, your student may have only read access on the site, but you may want them to contribute to the survey and discussion board on it. From the Office 365 menu, click the Settings icon, choose the site contents, point of the title from the part with the permissions you want to edit, and click. So you go to Settings on your site contents on your app. You're under the permission management part and type. The permission page of the part is displayed listing the groups and user and the permission levels. On the permission tab of the SharePoint ribbon, took the stop inheriting maintenance if the present, and clicking OK to confirm. To edit the permission for the group of the users list, tick the checkbox with the click add the permissions of the checkbox to edit the permissions as required. Then click OK, create the custom permission levels. If required, you can create a custom permission level and apply them to the group and the user across with the site collection. And the only way to be done from the top level site. From Office 365 menu, click Settings, Site Settings, and under Users and Permission, choose Site Permissions, choose Permission Levels. Click Add Permission Level, enter the name, the description, the new permission level, select the feature and is to be included with the create. Using approvals in the version, Office 365 provides configurable approval and versions for the files, other content items. An approval system is very useful whether the document is refined or several versions before it is finished. Versioning creates a consistently named copy of the document each time it is edited so the writers can revert to the earlier version. Normally, if the particular useful for several authors collaborating and might want to access the same document at the same time, you can see that the setup of the versions number every of the version is documented with a single sequence or distinguishing major approved versions from the minor draft of the ones. By default, version is turned off. Configuration documents approval in the version. You can specify the content of the particular location requires approval before it can be published. Set up the version for the draft. You need the full control or design permissions as you saw. To set up the approval of the version of in a document library, you suppose you wanted to publish a library of policy documents. Membership of the staff needed to collaborate, drafting, editing, and documented for the visitor should only be able to read the final approved version. SharePoint allows you to select the simple, robust process for approval version for the particular library or list as follows. Navigate the site, click the setting icon, choose the site settings. Under the site administrator, choose Site Library List. Although the list of available library lists is displayed, click the custom link of the library you want. For example, custom policies. The setting window is displayed. So you have your policy settings. Choose the version settings and enter the setting you require to the version settings page. Convert the content and approval. Click the yes and require the content and approval to be submitted to items. Use your documented history. You can choose the label major versions automatically, major and minor draft. If you're required, you can also set a limited number of the versions retained, which can help reduce the confusion and save storage space. Note that if the number of the versions have reached for your set limit, the oldest version will be deleted automatically when the new version is added. Under the draft items security, you can choose which user can be drafted the version. You can see the drafted version. If you select yes under the required content and approval for the submitted items, you can also require documented with the check before the changes are made available. Put possible confusion in the two people edited with the same file at the same time. For more details, refer to the SharePoint help topics. When you are finished, click OK. Return to the setting page. If you have setting content approval to requirement, the draft documents in library for the status for the pending using a pending document can only be viewed by the users who saved it and people who have the permission to manage it, list or library. Only list or library managers can be then changed to status approval, which allows anyone to read the permission to read it. To view and restore the delete version for the file items and list of the library with the version has been enabled. You can manage the previous version of the document or other file or item as follows. Navigate to the library to list whether the item is saved and select the item. If the list is clicked, the open flyout menu, click and choose the version history from the drop-down menu. The version history of the item is displayed with the wanted version. You can click the down arrow. Choose the view to view the version content. Choose the restore to make the current version. Choose delete to the version and its numbers is also deleted. The link detailed all the versions available. Deleted files are sent to the site with the recycling bin where they are kept at the site and set a number of days and permanently deleted. To access the recycling bin, click the setting icon and choose site context. When you are using the detail, when you use delete items from a recycling bin, the default is then the second stage recycling, providing that you with a second chance for recovery before it's permanently deleted. For more information, see the SharePoint help. Publishing and public websites. On a public website, you're establishing public reputation at stake. It is important to avoid publishing incorrect, unfinished pages and to be able to quickly restore an earlier page version in the event of the problem. While the SharePoint makes it easy to publish a website, it is equally easy to save drafts without publication rollback of the page versions when required. Save or publish. When editing public site and page, the SharePoint ribbon offers option save, publish. The menu has further options. The stop editing option allows you the option of discarding your changes. Page version history. Save version of the page's public site and retain it so you can view the successive version to restore the previous one if necessary. To view page history, restore delete page versions, you can manage the previous version of the page. At the page you want to choose, choose the page from the SharePoint menu. From the SharePoint ribbon, choose the page history. The page history window displayed comparing the two most recent page versions. If the left-handed page can choose the comparison you want to see, that you can then click Edit the item, and then you can make the edit the Chrome version of the choose the version history for an overall view of the Apple available version. On the version history, point the version you want and click the down arrow. Check the view. It shows the view to the view version content. Choose the restore to make the current version. Choose unpublish the version, the latest version only to stop it from being public facing. Choose delete all versions except for the latest and delete delete this version. Links are provided to delete all version deletes and minor versions. Configuring and publishing the site. SharePoint also allows you to apply approvals and versions to the site and pages. Publishing site uses publishing approval workflow and enforces the strict approval rules to control the publication of the new updated web pages, which can usually useful large public websites. You can also create a new publishing subsite, converting the existing site into either the case of the two-stage process. The first created the new site collection based on the publishing portal template, and they allows you to publish the features enabled in the site with the collection. They can create the new publishing subsite. Alternately, you can create the subsite first and activate it in publishing features later. For example, instructions, see Builder's SharePoint publishing site articles in SharePoint help. And that is the second video of one, which I had to split. Was the Office 365 SharePoint Setup and Administration Guide with the RM Unify U Launch Pad to the cloud.